Right, let's get straight into this. A lot of big news today in the transfer market. Let's start with Arsenal, and it has now got the golden stamp of approval from the one, the only, David Ornstein. And when I do see a tweet from Orny, that's what I'll call him, because he's making... There's a joke there, play on words, Orny and you know the rest, but we won't go there. But anyway, let's get into this one, because he himself has tweeted 20 minutes ago this exclusive story for The Athletic. Arsenal make contact with Chelsea over move for Noni Madueke. Chelsea and Arsenal are now in talks after the 23-year-old winger has agreed personal terms on a proposed 5-year contract at Arsenal. And no deal yet. Obviously, as I said in one of last week's videos, these days in this transfer era, you know, what you find is that the player and the club that he's going to will agree personal terms before both clubs have even agreed a fee. So it's almost back to front, but with the player power and the social media aspect as well, these leaks make it very difficult for it not to be out there of what the situation is, right? So allegedly, the England international is prioritising Arsenal above any other interested sides, including other teams that we've heard interested, Aston Villa's, Newcastle's, etc. I think this one is interesting, to say the least. I think if I was an Arsenal fan, would I think that this is a needle mover? Would I think this signing wins Arsenal the league? I'll have to say no. We had a Chelsea fan on here last night, Dan, who basically explained to Ty what they will be getting in Noni Madueke if the clubs do agree the fee, which we believe Arsenal probably won't want to pay more than maybe 40. But potentially Chelsea would want more. Matisse is saying run their pockets dry on X as well. So this probably will get done now. It probably will get done. But does it excite me? Not really. This is clearly, in my opinion, yes, he's a right-sided winger traditionally. And obviously can play on the left as well. But, you know, when he came on for Chelsea last night, he went on that right-hand side. He's played for England, got an assist recently on the right-hand side as well. So he's not going to overthrow Saka. And obviously Arsenal are allegedly still in the market for Eze Barici. Or are they? Is this signing maybe curtailing an end to the Eze links? Let us know in the chat. Yeah, it's a difficult one to understand because you're in for Rodrigo. Go and get Rodrigo. Put the money down and go and spend that money on him. But yeah, Arsenal have made contact with Chelsea finally, officially, according to David Ornstein at The Athletic, today to get this one over the line for the 23-year-old. Chelsea fans, how do you feel about that? Matisse has already said, run their pockets dry. These two teams, let's not even pretend that there is a rivalry now between Arsenal and Chelsea, because I'm sorry, the amount of business they do together every single summer, and more often than not, it's Chelsea selling to Arsenal, by the way. You know, there's so many names you can name of players that have moved between those teams, but I can't really call this a rivalry now, if I'm honest, because it's like Arsenal do them a favour every year and take a few players off their books. I don't really get it. And if I was an Arsenal fan, again, if I was, I'm not, I'm a champion. But if I was, I'd be going, Eze, I prefer him over Madueke. I prefer Rodrigo over Madueke. And I prefer Gyökeres, who allegedly they're still going to get, which is potentially a big needle mover, that signing. Time will tell, obviously, but that's a top signing. But this one, for me, I think it stinks of like a let's finish in the top 4 signing. I'm not saying that this player is going to go straight into the starting 11. It's obviously a squad depth kind of thing. But I don't know, man. After the howler of Raheem Sterling, you know, from Chelsea, and now this one, obviously Kepa's come through the door as well. I'd be annoyed if I was an Arsenal fan. But Arsenal fans in the chat, you'll obviously have big feelings on this. Let me know how you feel about these links now that they are concrete. Also, some other breaking news literally just in. And this is great news if you're a Lyon fan. It's now official, according to Fabrizio Romano, Olympique Lyon will not be relegated to Ligue 2 and the club will stay in Ligue 1. This decision has now been confirmed. So do they actually regret maybe selling all their best players in recent weeks for cutthroat prices? I'm not too sure. But that's great news. Why they are now not relegated, I don't actually know. If I click onto it, all it says is, you know, yeah, it's great it's great news for them. But what happens to the club that got promoted? What happens there now? That could get a bit messy. But if you're a Lyon fan, fantastic news. If you're Stu and you're a PSG fan, you probably got it because you wanted to see them go down. But anyway, we digress. Let's move on to Sunderland now. Wow. What a busy transfer window the Black Cats are having at the minute. When you think of the challenge that faces them to stay in the Premier League as an absolute bare minimum or potentially an absolute maximum, just stay up this year, they are certainly having a go at making sure they do that, and they're boosting the squad. And it's quite an exciting time to be a Sunderland fan. They have spent 91.5 million euros in the window so far. They're bringing in, so far, well over 10 players, from what I can see here, with an average age of 22.8. And the total market value of their arrivals is 79 million. They've brought in Habib Diarra, the 21-year-old central midfielder from Strasbourg, who, under Liam Rossignol, has had an excellent season. Probably, Sunderland maybe not on the top of his list as places to go from Strasbourg, but they've stumped up 31 million in euros. So they had to say yes, and off he goes to Sunderland. Enzo Laffi, they've made that permanent, the 25-year-old from Roma, 23 million euros. Chemsdean Taubi from Club Brugge, again 20 million, right winger. Noah Siddiqui, central midfielder, USG. Teammates of Kevin McAllister, 17 million. Bought in Mandava, Reinildo Mandava from Atletico Madrid, the 31-year-old left back, a bit of experience there. That was a free deal. Pierre Equa from Saint Etienne. All these guys have come in on loan, so they're doing big moves. Luis Semedo as well. And going out, obviously Joe Bellingham was a big one, and Tom Watson. But the news today is that Simon Adingra will be going to Sunderland, which is quite crazy on a number of levels. Let's deep dive into this one. Simon Adingra, let's not forget. Let's just get his wiki up. Simon Adingra, right. He's still only 23. Came from USG on loan, was at Brighton, as we know, since 2022. 8 goals in 60 games there. 3 goals in 22 appearances for the Ivory Coast as well. 12 goals in total for Brighton, where, yes, he's played a lot of games. 31 in 23-24 and 29 league games in the last season. But in terms of goals, it didn't really go that well for him last season, only getting 2 in the league and 5 in general. But the news is today that Sunderland have agreed a fee with Brighton for Simon Adingra. They'll pay Brighton 18 million up front and then a 2.5 million in add-ons for the winger. He's flown into the northeast by private jet and is undergoing the medical now. Sunderland tried to sign him in January in a swap deal for Tommy Watson, but it fell through on deadline day. Talented player, really talented player, but Sunderland, that's why I think it's a bit crazy on that level, because if you're already at Brighton and you want to go to another Premier League team, you've got to look in the top half. But again, the money that Sunderland are stumping up is also a bit crazy, because it has to work now for Sunderland. They cannot afford for this to go wrong. We've seen the financial troubles that Sunderland have been in. Maybe not right now, but definitely in the past when they've had their documentaries on Netflix. So it's crazy that he's gone to Sunderland, and it's crazy as well that they've paid £18 million for him, which is a decent price. But that in itself maybe isn't crazy, but add that on to the other transfers that I just said. Like I said, this now has to work for the Black Cats this season. So if you are a Sunderland fan, do let us know in the chat as well. They have just brought in Reinildo Mandava as well, who said this isn't something that happens every day. The journey to Europe was very hard, but I can pass this message on to the young players. Anything is possible, but you need to have a focus. And I have to say, their away kit for next season, it's a Hummel number, is absolutely unreal. So big up to Sunderland. Some kits they've got next year. But yeah, spending money, aren't they? Enzo Laffi, Habib Diarra, Noah Siddiqui, Reinildo Mandava and Chemsdean Taubi are the biggest ones so far. And it's a fantastically exciting time, isn't it, for Sunderland and the Black Cats? So big them up. Let's go straight back then to this Arsenal making contact with Chelsea over move for Noni Madueke. We saw him briefly have a little cameo last night for Chelsea. He does obviously have the opportunity to win the Club World Cup as well in the final. But let's just finish on this one. How does it make Chelsea fans feel? Matisse is saying run their pockets dry, get as much money as you can from Arsenal, at least 40, maybe even 50. But Arsenal fans, how excited are you about the prospect of this move? And then does it impact Eze Bariche? Does it impact Rodrigo, as well as the wingers that Arsenal were maybe looking to bring in? And does this mean as well that maybe a Gabby Martinelli moves on as well to make space? Or is it squad depth? Is that what Arsenal are going for? Let us know in the chat, people, and don't forget 5 o'clock we're going live for a watch along, England versus the Netherlands in the Women's Euros. Looking forward to that. And then at 7:45 we'll have another live stream for you, and this time it's Real Madrid versus PSG in the FIFA Club World Cup. Looking forward to it. There's your news for today. We'll see you and explore more later on. DR Sports, take care.